Hey folks, this is Duds Fried coming at you with another little kind of a channel update, not really, more of a content update. Over the past, I don't know, 3-4 years, the bulk of the content on this channel has been from this game you're watching, Path of Exile. Now, I've put a little more time into other games, but I'm close to about 800 hours in this game, which is pretty good for a quote-unquote casual player. And don't get me wrong, I love what this game is. I have not seen a better RPG, especially for the price, aka free. And I have not been more motivated to give the developers money than I was with Path of Exile. Myself and Shotglass, who no longer even plays this game, actually doesn't play much of anything since he got married, but that's another story. Anyway, I'm saying goodbye to it, for real. I know a few years ago I did a goodbye video, and I did like I basically removed my first witch, or made her go into oblivion, and said I'm done with her, and all that. I came back to it, and mind you, if I would have taken those 8 to 10 months that I stayed away from the game, I probably would have been well over 1,500 hours or something into it. But I just looked at it, and it's like, for me, this game doesn't do it for me anymore. I mean, as good as it is, as good as the mechanics are in that, it's still got netcode issues. It's got a premise now that it's just basically a grind, which, you know, if you're the kind of player that just wants a time sink, this is your game, folks. I mean, this is it. You know, with enough time, it is very rewarding. But it's just, it's too little reward for too much risk, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think I'm alone in that. Now, Grinding Gear has been acquired by another company, a Chinese company, who has sworn to keep a hands-off approach and not interfere with the development of the game at all. In other words, they see something good and they're not going to screw with it. But that said, you know, eventually you're going to start seeing stuff happens. Stuff happened. It's, you know, I don't know, pay to win kind of stuff. I mean, it's just too lucrative. And honestly, the model right now, as it stands, probably did great for Grinding Gear, but probably with a large organization like Tencent. Tencent is the developer, the Chinese developer. They bought them back in May. It's probably going to be looking to monetize this a little more. And that's going to change it. And, you know, there's an expansion coming up, which to me looks like a rehash of the mine levels in the fourth act. But it also looks like a lot of beating your head against the wall, which is not something I'm up for. I mean, you can do the marketplace. One thing this game is desperately needed was an in-game marketplace. It was a real inconvenience to go outside of the game for that kind of stuff. That you actually were more dependent on the marketplace to advance than you were about actually doing something in the game was a problem to me. People spent far less time and got far further just because they used the marketplace, and they would go out and harvest and grind, and, you know, for nothing more than a marketplace. When a game is about nothing more than a economy aspect, you know, which is what this game largely is now. No matter how good it is, no matter how good the mechanics, how fun it may be to an extent, it's going to get ruined by it. It's all about the economy of the game rather than the playing of the game. That's the problem with me, which is a shame, because up to this point, the only game I really enjoyed in the RPG genre that I could think of that was comparable was Dungeon Siege 2. The co-op aspect was very good in that. And let me be frank here. Playing on my own, it was very similar to Dungeon Siege 2. You could advance your character, then meet up with your buddy, play co-op, and, you know, go on adventures. And that was very much fun. It was the same thing that I liked about the co-op missions in the earlier Call of Duty games. Loved it. You know, to be able to have the developer's pure experience and share that with a friend in advance, that was a great thing. And this game is very capable of that, but the problem is you eventually hit a wall unless you start doing excessive amounts of grinding or trading in the marketplace, and that's just that's more about the economy and less about the game, and that's something that has, at this point, in my view, turned me off to it. Which means I've got about 6 active characters. This one right here, the Witch, level 69. I think I have a Marauder that's 69 or 70, something like that. But honestly, I'm walking away from this game. I don't care. I don't care what happens to these characters. I don't care I don't care that all that time and work invested is gone. I just don't care, because there's just not enough in this game for me anymore, and it's just not worth the amount of time it demands. You know, it's for what I call my joke is the shit bucket types, which is actually kind of a South Park reference, which is people who play. They're basically it's an extreme stereotype of someone who plays the game so much that they don't even get up to go to the bathroom. They just poop in a bucket and continue playing. But as much fun as it was, and I did enjoy the game, I see a horizon where it's not going to be that anymore. I think it's going to be more of a pay-to-win model. The content is geared more towards the league play and more towards the grinding aspect of it, or the marketplace, which without an internal marketplace, without grinding gear controlling that, it's not something I have an interest in. And honestly, for me, this game isn't as much fun on my own. It just isn't. I just started getting to the point where I could start running maps and that kind of thing, and I can see already that it's more grinding, only with more of a penalty. Not something I'm interested in. So you can see even on this, you could see the well, you could actually see the trade deals going on in the lower left corner there. The wanted to buy, wanted to sell, that kind of thing. But the core of it is my friend who really kind of got me into this game turned me onto it. And honestly, we came to this game from Lord of Ultima. We both kind of enjoyed that game, and we're looking for something that had if not a similar, at least a more rewarding aspect to it, and something we could cooperate on and do well. And he's not playing anymore, and I frankly find the community in this game to still be quite toxic, and it's just not something I'm interested in dealing with anymore. There's more important aspects to life, and there's even things in my life that are far more important than sinking 40 to 50 hours a week into a game like this. So anyway, that's my exit. You guys who like it, play it, nothing against you. You know, more power to you. You're awesome. You know, to the Ziggy D. Yeah, well, even Ziggy D is kind of backed away from this game. But, you know, to you masters out there, to you guys that, you know, can just throw a map and run it, and, you know, with wanting to abandon, more power to you. But for me, it's just too much risk for too little reward, too much of a time sink, and it's not a payoff anymore. But that said, that's my feeling. That has nothing to do with the quality of the game, other than what its premise is. It's just not my kind of game, and more so now than even it was before. Anyway, this is my official goodbye to Path of Exile. My goodbye to the community, both good and bad. I'm a little saddened by it, but not enough to want to continue. So thanks, and thank you Grinding Gear for an excellent game, for an excellent model, for a game that honestly was more solid and better developed and better put together than games I've paid for. I'm thinking like Dungeon Siege 3, for example. I paid for that, and that game was garbage. This was a far better game and entertained me for a far longer time. But that time is over. So that's it, folks. If you want to go back, there's over 1,100 videos on this channel, and I'd say about 800 of them are Path of Exile. So it's almost like a history of Path of Exile, at least going back to the time when Act 3 was a new thing. So I'm not one of the originals, but I was in it for a long time. Go back, enjoy, see what it's like. It's still much the same. You know, do your thing, build your trees, do your grinds, and I encourage you to check out the other channels, the other Path of Exile devotees, which are usually also like Diablo devotees. But and if I find something similar, something I'm looking at, I'll be back with new videos on it. In the meantime, check out the stuff I'm doing now. The only RPG I'm doing now is South Park, the Fractured But Whole. And then I've been playing around with Borderlands, the pre-sequel, and that kind of thing. Those are more my speed right now. Folks, have a great day. Enjoy your gaming. Game on. And even if I've argued with you and said horrible things about you, I love you. You take care. Duds is officially out for Path of Exile. God bless.